Hello, this is the third video of this type I am making. This is how to multiple pressure points as Protoss. Now this will be a 7-8 that I do that leads into a bit of a stranger play. I do remember, this was from a while back, but this incorporates DTs, warp prisms, and whatnot. You always want to be hitting for multiple points. So that will be the focus of this video, not so much the 7-8. I know the last video was the how to 7-8 basically, and how to fake out, but this is going to just be more focused on the pressuring everywhere, because Zerd wants to just engage, wants to surround your army, but if you're everywhere, then it's hard to do that, especially with DTs. They are very effective. This is against a Masters level player. We will speed through the majority of this replay so I can get to the important parts that I want to talk about for this. Now, this is going to be Athlon Waste. This was last season, if that affects anything. This was before the Warp Prism buff that just came out today, just so everybody is clear about that. So that means that this is even more effective now. And in general, if you have Zealot counterattacks and whatnot, late game, you can take down expansions, you can have DTs early game, take out a hatchery, you can do a lot if you just pressure multiple spots. A lot of people will keep their entire army together, and at the lower leads they'll completely forget that they need to be pressuring. At the higher leads sometimes it can be hard to, but if you can sacrifice a few units to just pull the Zerd's attention away from your main army and away from your main base, then you will do wonders. So we will just have a standard game here. He sees my Forge Fast expand, so he takes a quick third, and I did block him off for a little bit, but not too very long. Now this was me walling off because I saw an early pool, so I figured that I might have lanes coming, so that's why I tried walling off Ace as soon as possible. Either way though, like I said, we are going to worry more about the later half of this video. And I just want to say that with these few videos that I have made today, they all have the same format. I have the same, these all were made in the last half hour, but I do hope that they catch on, just because I like the idea. So in this, if I clicked in the right position, we do have actually 8 gates, and he scouted me. And when I get scouted, I personally always kind of freak out because I don't know if I should switch or if I should just go with what I'm going for. In this one, he scouted the gateways, so I made the robo. And this means that I can make a warp prism. I don't have to worry about proxy pylon since he has creep everywhere. He has actually really nice creep spread too, if you look at it. He has spines and stuff. He is ready for this attack, and that is kind of scary for a Protoss player. So you see a warp prism coming on the way, and I have council that comes out here pretty soon, I believe. And if you want to look at the full video of this cast, actually, J Money Gaming did cast this game on his channel, and go look at that. I will link it actually. But again, we were just looking at just a random side note that I thought of, and I would plug a friend there. But see, with this build, I do have a lot of sentries because I had so much gas, and that makes it so it's very nice to fight against roaches and lanes, because you can cut them off, put them in separate areas, and just only fight portions of the army. So if you're a lower league, learn how to force field, otherwise you're never going to get out. I don't use the best force fields in this match, I remember, because I watched the J Money cast, and he even commented on that, because when I was a lower league, I had 2 FPS in battles, and I could not use force fields. Now that I have a better computer and stuff, I use them on occasion, but they are not the most effective. I will be the first to admit that. So I'm kind of walling myself in here. This means that I'm really all in with this, but I do have my mothership core. I do have sentries here, and that will allow me to wall myself off if I do need to get my army out of here. So I am taking this engagement. I didn't use Guardian Shield at all. I didn't use Force Fields at all, but here are some Force Fields, and this just walls him off. This makes it so he doesn't want to engage me. And this gives me time, so that way now I can recall out of here if I want to. If you go for a 7 gate or an 8 gate or whatever kind of all-in you are doing, bring a mothership core. If you do severe damage and you lose your army, you're probably still going to lose the game. You do severe damage and you don't lose your entire army, then you are in a really good spot. So this mothership core, if it dies when recalling, you lose, or you don't get the recall. So it is very low health. It has 3 health right now, and it gets away because he did not focus it down. Focused on the mothership core, Zerd players. But right now, and I actually have to rewind this because this is something that I did plan for this. We were focused on this fight over here. In the meantime, as Zerd was focused over here, he's losing his third base because of a warp prism drop in the back, I actually warped in all those zealots, and now I get a free base, and I pull out. That's the cool thing. He was focused because he knew I trapped myself over here in this little corner. He did not think to look over here, and even if this was a higher level player, if he split his forces there, I would have been able to come in here, kill these spines, and then pressure the natural, and I still have my warp prism in play as well over here, which will allow me to keep on this pressure wherever I feel like it. I even kill off some larvae here, but just for the heck of it, because I know those zealots were pretty much dead. If I was thinking maybe, I probably could have gotten them out of there, or at least one or two, which one or two zealots, I would rather have them than not have them, if you see what I'm saying. So, and then you look over here, and now I'm attacking in the main. He was focused on killing the zealots at his third, so now he wasn't focused at his main. Now he can't make any more hydras. And what's cool about that is I already have the robotics bay on the way, and I have council tech on the way. That means regardless of where he goes, I'm in a really good spot. If he goes mutalist, I might have some issues because I don't have phoenixes, and he does have a spire on the way. But if he goes for the Roach Hydra play that I see him going with, also a lot of lanes, and right now all he can make is lanes and roaches. Guess what beats both of those units? Colossi, Robotech, and of course the Twilight Council giving us higher level upgrades. It's always nice. The Zerg has not, I don't believe he gets, yeah, he doesn't have any upgrades. I'm starting my +1 armor and I've already got my +1 attack. So now I'm making my army, but in the meantime, I have our little friend right here, and he is just chilling out. I am good to go whenever I need to use that. And the Zerg player hasn't really done this effectively. You need to have vision all over your base, but he does not. So this allows me, I can just macro up. I'm going to start getting my third base here soon, and on Athlon Waste, it's very easy for a Protoss to get a third base. So it kind of diminishes the need to go for an all-in. And the Zerg, right now, he is thinking very highly of himself. Yes, he did lose a base right here. Yes, he did lose his Hydra Den. But at the end of the day, he stopped my all-in. And this means that if your all-in doesn't do severe damage, the Zerg will 9 times out of 10 go for that Spire. It's pretty much certain. So what do you need to do? What do you need to do when you see that Spire going down, or when you think it's coming down? You need to take out his income. You need to make sure his gas count can't get astronomically high, because that way, if he does get a really high gas count, then you have too many mutas to deal with and you just lose the game. So, I have Dark Shrine on the way, I have Colossi Tech on the way, and I have really good upgrades on the way as well. I have my +2 started before his +1 even started for the attack upgrades. I'm macroing up a nice little ground army, getting my Colossi. They are very important to the ground. And since I know that DTs are going to be coming out soon, I'm only making Zealots because I want to save up that gas. Make sure you time your resources correctly so that way you don't find yourself in a very awkward position. He doesn't know anything about this. He does have layer tet, so he can make an overseer, so he won't lose too much to DTs, right? But what if I attack from multiple positions? Because then he has to have 2 overseers, or he has to have it in one spot. And what's cool about a map like Athlon Waste is you can just warp in on both the high and the low ground at the same time. So I do actually lose one of my DTs there, not doing that, timing that very effectively. But while there's a DT over here, and this is going to either take his attention to his main, or he's going to have to wait and come over to his third base. And now there's also a DT in the third base, and he won't notice that at first just because of the Zealots. He's also dealing with pressure over here. And with the help of the DTs, I can clear out at least one building. Here comes the Overseer, though, so that will kind of hurt my attack. But look at the third. The third, this DT, it doesn't have any kills just yet. These Zealots... okay, well here's the win that I want to take from this, and if I'm actually thinking correctly, is that the third base is not mining right now, and that is very nice for us. Yes, he does have this base up here just because he's a Zerg and because he did defeat my all-in, but now I can keep pressuring for multiple positions because I'm not going to lose my Warp Prism to a few Hydralisks because I know how to move it. You have to make sure you don't lose your unit that is, or your pylons or your Warp Prism in this case. In this case, I do see that this is going to get a upgrade, so I want to focus that down. Yes, I do lose the Zealots, but he loses his +1 attack, and that is big for me because that means I'm ahead 2 attack upgrades. I do pull my Warp Prism back, but now his army is in the back. That means that I can push up the front. And with all of this going on, I have another DT going into his base over here, so that will do damage over here. I have the +2 attack, it will kill the queen very easily, one-shot all of the drones, of course, and that means that if he wants to hit me over here or fight my army, that is going to cause a lot of damage. There goes the queen, and he has to call the GG, because if he attacks me here, I have 3 Colossi. And how do I have an army that just stomps over his? That is because I have constantly been hitting his economy, and I took out that third base over here. as well as canceling his upgrade. So he only has +1 just started. I have +3 on the way for in terms of our attack upgrades, and I tie him on the armor upgrades. So that means that my stalkers and such will demolish his army, and with the help of the Colossi and force fields, he won't be able to kill me at all. In the meantime, the DT's going to be doing damage over here. We have another warp in over here. There's too much going on for the Zerg player because we had multi-pronged aggression, and that is the main part of this video. I hope you got a little bit of a better understanding of that as a Protoss player, because it's something that a lot of people don't do or don't do enough. And this was one of the better examples of my play, putting on that multi-pronged aggression. I don't do it enough in general, but if everybody learned a little bit more, maybe we'll see more Protoss in those upper leads and win those tournaments and stuff far down the road. You can just thank me. But either way, thanks for watching. Feedback very well appreciated. Watch the other videos just to see my purpose of these videos, I guess. I am trying to cater to everybody, lower leads, higher leads, and whatnot. So feedback as to how I should cater these videos and what I should do in general would be greatly appreciated. But thank you for watching.